some did it. And I'm glad to be the foreign minister of a country which did the right thing. And I think all of you, as Indians abroad, as Indians in Europe, you should be proud that your country at this moment
नमस्ते मित्रों, आशा है कि आप सब ठीक होंगे। आज हम एक स्पेशल वीडियो लेके आए हैं और पहली बार आपसे आमने सामने बात भी कर रहे हैं। तो पहले हम यही कहना चाहेंगे कि बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद उन लोगों का जो हमारा वीडियो देखते हैं, शेयर करते हैं। हम ज़्यादा कंटेंट नहीं डाल पाते, लेकिन जितना हम डालते हैं उतना हमें सपोर्ट मिलता है। तो बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आपका। आज हमारे विदेश मंत्री डॉक्टर जयशंकर जी वियना आए थे और उन्होंने बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट बातें शेयर की हैं कि कैसे हम भारतीय लोग विदेश में रहते हुए भारत के विकास को आगे बढ़ा सकते हैं, चाहे वो इकोनॉमिक एस्पेक्ट में हो या फिर सोशल एस्पेक्ट में हो या फिर कल्चरल एस्पेक्ट में हो। तो जितने भी इम्पोर्टेंट पॉइंट्स डॉक्टर जयशंकर जी ने मेंशन किए हैं उनको मैंने वीडियो के अंत में छोटे छोटे सेक्शंस में बांट दिया है, तो प्लीज़ उनको जाके ज़रूर देखिएगा। साथ में हमारे डांस ग्रुप ने भी एक छोटा परफॉर्मेंस किया है, तो आशा है कि आपको वो भी पसंद आए। आपको बैकस्टेज मस्ती भी दिखेगी, तो प्लीज़ एंजॉय। थैंक यू। जय श्री कृष्णा।
फोकस
ना पढ़ना नो
है
पिन आगे से लगा
हंसो।
so you can remove it
हर हर महादेव।
हर हर महादेव।
cultural performances. May I now invite all the performers to please come on stage and take the bow.
ओके तो यहाँ पे सब अपना श्रृंगार कर रहे हैं। ये कौन है? आपका नाम क्या है?
मेरा नाम है
सुप्रिया। फोकस बोलो एक बार।
फोकस।
और ये है पार्वती दीदी। यस, शी इज लुकिंग वेरी प्रिटी। उनका मेकअप मैंने ही किया है। इसीलिए
हाँ जी, वो तो मैं बहुत खूबसूरत डैश हाँ
देख रही हूँ। हाँ नहीं, आप पहले से ही बहुत सुंदर। और ये हमारी डांस टीचर गुरु जी, आपने सारा कोरियोग्राफी बनाया है हम सबका। अब हाँ मतलब काफी बहुत सुंदर है, बहुत एनर्जेटिक, सब हम जोश के साथ नाचेंगे। एंड आप भी बहुत प्रिटी लग रहे हो। यस, थैंक यू फॉर सपोर्ट। हमारी डॉक्टर जी नमस्ते, थोड़ा अपना इंट्रोडक्शन दीजिए। ओके, सोमू। हाँ क्या?
who is not showing herself.
नहीं दिखाएंगे अभी। हाँ दिखाएंगे। अच्छा क्या पी रही हो? कॉफी? अच्छा हम ना पी रहे कॉफी शॉफी, लेकिन आप भी बहुत अच्छी लग रही हो। आपका कौन सा गाना है? आपका बुमरो है कश्मीरी
और
पंजाबी गाना। भाई साहब ये कौन आ गई है? हमारी एयर होस्टेस, इंडियन एयर होस्टेस। अरे क्या ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन हो गया आपका। आप देखो। ओके, आपके गाने कौन से हैं? कहाँ पे परफॉर्म कर रही हैं आप?
कश्मीरी,
ओके।
बुमरो
हाँ बुमरो
और भांगड़ा
भंगड़ा। ओके, बल्ले हाँ।
और देश रंगीला।
हाँ उसमें हम सब करेंगे। गुड लक। और ये आ गई हमारी प्रिया।
अरे डोंट टच मी।
अरे कुछ नहीं हुआ, चिल्ला खाई रही हो। कितनी क्यूट। अच्छा थोड़ा और मटम शटम करके दिखाओ अभी थोड़ा सा। अच्छा मैं गाती हूँ, आप करके दिखाओ। चलो 3 2 1। ओए मटम शटम कटम करो ना है। अरे आपका नाम क्या है? प्रिया एंजल।
शुक्रिया।
ऑल द बेस्ट।
Thank you.
ऑल द बेस्ट। ओके, लास्ट में दिव्या अंटर। अच्छा अब आप जर्मन में बात करती हैं, आपको समझ में आ रहा है? आपको इटालियन आती है? चलो बोलो थोड़ा इटालियन। आपका ना काजल एकदम बराबर नहीं लगा है। जैसे यहाँ पे हम आधा करेंगे तो यहाँ पे ये और ये सही नहीं लग रहा। यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा इट्स नॉट लॉन्ग। अरे यार इट्स नॉट सिमेट्रिक। हाँ हाँ लेकिन अच्छा लग रहा है। अब कहाँ परफॉर्म कर रही हो? बहुत बढ़िया। बहुत अंग्रेजी हो गई है। अरे ये क्या गा रही हो? मुझे तो समझ में नहीं आ रहा। ए प्रिया अपने बाल दिखाना। क्या कर रही है? वापस कर।
मैं बहुत सुंदर हूँ।
खाना खा रही है।
वेडिंग फोटोग्राफ की तरह मत दिखाते हैं।
अब मैडम इस तरफ मुंह करो, इस तरफ देखो।
सिद्ध की श्वेस्ता की शादी थी
हाँ
तो उसने वीडियोग्राफर पे जाके बोला उसके पास कि ये लड़की जब खाएगी इसके सामने।
और ये हमारी बिहारी लड़की क्या कर रही है? आई मीन सॉरी
मैंने लेंस तो नहीं लगा।
अरे क्या कर रही हो?
कुछ नहीं कर रही हूँ, क्या करना है अभी बताओ।
अपनी भाषा में बोलो।
क्या करेगी अभी बताओ।
शर्म आ रही है बोलते हुए।
क्या सोचो क्या करना क्या अभी?
करना क्या है? कुछ नहीं करना, जाके आराम कर लो, सो जाओ। अरे यार क्या चली चल रही है यहाँ पे। चलिए अब ये कौन है? दिव्या। कुछ गाओ
बस कुछ गाओ।
अरे कुछ गाओ ना। सिंग।
तू ही गा
नहीं ये गाती है, अंग्रेजी गाती है ये। अंग्रेजी गाना गाओ, अंग्रेजी गाना गाओ।
Run, bulletproof. Run, yeah, you got.
उनको मिल गया, वड़ा मिल गया।
वड़ा मिल गया।
I thought you asked to eat वड़ा।
No, मुझे वड़ा चाहिए।
Funny to me that she's quite a wada.
हो गया? अरे मैं कौन सा रोक रही हूँ, खाओ, मैं तो बस खड़ी हूँ। अभी पता चल जाएगा। कितने सारे बॉयफ्रेंड।
बहुत सारे बॉयफ्रेंड हैं
अच्छा
मेरे।
मम्मी को कॉल करने। अच्छा मैं आ रही हूँ वीडियो में। शर्म नहीं आती?
बताऊंगी मम्मी को ये लड़की बॉयफ्रेंड
और ये कौन आ गया? फ्रॉम मराठी टू पंजाबी। नो, फ्रॉम पंजाबी टू मराठी। गुड स्टाइलिंग भी सिद्धार्थ ने वैसे किया है। भी बनाना है। और ये आगे स्थित भैया प्रियाल दीदी काजल लगा रही है उनको। टिके रहो। हाँ हंसो। स्माइल बाय देखो। हाँ मेरी उंगली को देखो। हाँ अब सब लोग रेडी हो गए हैं ऑलमोस्ट। कितनी सुंदर लग रही हो आप मतलब कोई शब्द ही नहीं है मेरे पास। बेहोश हो जाएंगे हम आपको देख के। इनका अभी बाल बन रहा है। एक्साइटेड हो? एक्साइटेड हो क्या? हाँ जर्मन मारती है।
All the best.
थैंक यू।
Prosit Neujahr und alles Gute euch.
थैंक यू आपको भी। जटाधराय शिव जटाधराय हरे हरे बोले नमः शिवाय। जटाधराय शिव जटाधराय हरे हरे बोले नमः शिवाय। ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय हरे हरे बोले नमः शिवाय। नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय हरे हरे बोले नमः शिवाय। हर हर महादेव।
Growth and development of our motherland, India. Some of you have indicated that you would like to put up a question. To kindly raise your hand and identify yourself in the audience. For us to pass on the mic to you. Please go ahead with your question, Mr. Manoj Pandey.
Goes by in Hungary and in Czech Republic. But in many places I go, when I look over the last 45 years and I see what has really changed the image of India, it is actually the diaspora. It is the Indian community. It is when people think of India, they don't think of a country, they think of a person. They relate to an Indian they know, the experience they had with that Indian. If that experience with that Indian is good, their impression of India flows with it. So, for me, all the diplomacy I do is nothing compared to the image and I would say the sentiment that you all create. So, my first ask of you, of course, is to keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a wonderful job here. Let us see if there are ways by which our presence here continues to grow, that our talent, our skills find an expression. The second is actually not related necessarily to Austria, but I say this as part of a larger initiative we are trying to do. In Glasgow last year, year before, when there was a climate change conference, Prime Minister Modi announced something called LIFE. We formally inaugurated this initiative in October last year in the presence of the UN Secretary General. LIFE stands for L-I-F-E, Lifestyle for Environment. The thrust of this is, if each one of us makes adjustments in our lifestyle, in our daily lifestyle, these may not be big adjustments. They actually make a huge difference to the environment. So what I would urge you to do is please follow a lot of the ideas and the debates and the initiatives that are coming up, because this is no longer the India which you may have known, 10 years ago. This is an India today which is shaping agenda, which is putting forward ideas, which is creating mechanisms. We have become one of the main countries today propagating solar energy. There was a time when people thought of us as a problem when it came to climate change. Today we are seen as one of the climate leaders. So my second ask of you is, in an era where communication is so smooth, where it's possible the first half an hour when you get up to know everything which happened in India the previous day, follow what is happening in India, do talk about it to everybody around you. Because when they hear it from you, it will have a much bigger impact than anything that we would put out as a government. Because your peers, your friends, your colleagues will trust you. It's very natural for you to communicate what is happening in your country. The third, of course, is culture. And I must say, I say this to Ambassador, but I say this to our friends who were earlier performing on the stage. For me, what I saw today was not just a cultural performance. It was an India in all of us which was waiting to come out. There was an occasion. I was only the catalyst which brought it out. So I can't, it's such a good feeling when you go around the world and you find people who are actually enjoying the reaffirmation of their identity through what they are doing. So for me, it's often emotional. There is a connect, there is a feel when you see this. And I would like all of you to actually reflect much more on what are we, what is India, what is our culture. And I do not mean this in a chauvinistic kind of way. There are so many things that we know, we enjoy, we believe. We have to find ways of making it known to the rest of the world. Because for many years, maybe partly because of our colonial history, that we allowed other people, other parts of the world, to tell us this is fashionable and this is not, this is right, this is not. I think it's time for us to actually express that, And there is, the moment we start doing it, you'll be surprised. In fact, it was this thinking which led Prime Minister Modi in 2015 to propose an International Day of Yoga. When he first proposed it, he told us he had come on that, remember the very famous American visit he had in 2014. And he said, why don't you people, I was then the ambassador of the US. He said, why don't you people suggest to the UN, let the entire world celebrate yoga together. So we all looked and said, okay, we don't know. Is it possible not? He of course would not give up, he never gives up. So I'm sure now, we had, I think 170 something, maybe 180 countries who agreed that let us back this. And today, what began as an idea, if you look today in the world at what is the largest pan-global cultural celebration, it is actually the International Day of Yoga. And in fact, last year, what we did on that day was we started streaming programs from the furthest point east all through the day as the sun moved, the yoga moved along with it. And I give that to you as one example. It does, I can think of many others. That my sense is, because of this COVID period, that there's a lot of interest today in our wellness and health practices. That what was taken earlier as something not serious. There are people today, serious people, in large numbers who are willing to look at it. I'll give you another example because that day started today. I don't know how many of you are familiar with millets. Millets is in Hindi mota anaj. Bajra, jawar, ragi, depending on which part of India you come. Millets are far healthier for all of us than the cereals, than the rice and wheat we eat every day. It was the food which was most prevalent in our societies till it was displaced by what came later. Now, it also requires much less water. It has a much more friendly carbon footprint. Today, in a world when there is worry about food shortage, grain shortage, millet offers a completely different, value proposition. In fact, today for almost every 5 kilos of wheat grown in India, 1 kilo of millets are grown and consumed. If we can actually grow it, it is a solution to a lot of our growing food demands. Not just us, but a lot of countries in Africa, in Asia, and parts of the Middle East. For them, this is a very natural food, because in their history too, this is something which was grown. So I'm sharing this with you because these are today. And so again, to cut a long story short, we went back to the year last year, and we said, why don't we have an international year of millets? That year starts today. And what to do during our G20 presidency. In fact, already we are doing. Today, every foreign visitor I receive in India, or the Prime Minister receives in India, a substantial part of the meal today is a millet basic. So, if we do that, it's not just a feel-good factor. It's not even just an economic or a food security strategy. The farmers, because the bulk of the millet growers in India are really the smallest farmers. The smallest farmers who have limited access to water and often are in very arid areas. So I cite this to you. These are very, I'm taking you from yoga to millets to health, Ayurveda. But this is the kind of, today, the creativity, the energy, the ideas which are coming out of India. Another initiative which again I flag to you is something called One District, One Product. Each one of you comes from some district of India. You have some place of origin. That district of India produces something which is unique to it. Every district has. Not just one thing, it produces many things which are unique. We have now started marketing those products as unique products. So there is a nationwide program called One District, One Product. So whichever place you come from, the next time you go to India, my request to you is find what your district makes and please bring it back to Austria and give it as gifts to you. Because believe me, you are now making your place of origin known to the world. And you'll be amazed how many things, I learn almost every day something new which some part of India is making. And finally, there is one request which the Prime Minister has of the Indian community. You may have heard of it before, but on his behalf, I would like to make that to you. His request is that each one of you set yourself a target of persuading 5 of your non-Indian friends to go to India. Because if there is anything which will really dramatically change our economy and which will connect us deeply to the world, it is actually tourism. And tourism is done only by changing people's mindset, and that is the hardest thing to do in life. Now, it will change if people hear from their friends. They will believe a nice tourism brochure or initiative or marketing plan I have, maybe this much. But if they hear it from you, it has a different meaning. So think of yourself. We use this phrase, you are ambassadors of India too. So just as I asked this ambassador, I ask all of you to find ways of getting people to visit India. Because anybody who goes to India and comes back, their view about us will be very different. And I will finally conclude just by saying that, where the diaspora is concerned, where the Indian community is concerned, you know that the Modi government has your interests absolutely at heart. There is nothing we would not do to be there for you. We have demonstrated that time and again in different ways. It's today, I think all the dealings of our embassies with the community is much easier. I spoke to you about practical issues like passports. We have community welfare funds which we have used, and we have liberalized its usage so that Indians in distress are helped. And most important, whether it was during COVID or whether it was during a crisis like the Ukraine crisis, we demonstrated that we will do whatever it takes, including putting our military forces into use to take care of Indians abroad. And we do that because when people speak about the rise of India, about a country which is taking its place in the world, the first duty of any country, of any government, is to take care of their people. It is something which is a very deep belief from the Prime Minister himself, but I can tell you to all his ministers, in the government. So where the communities are concerned, I want to assure you that we will always remain, of course, very responsive to your requirements, very concerned about your well-being, but most of all, very proud about your requirements.